Today's summit is about the future of our economy, the future of Canada. I say the future of Canada and our nation because it's about how we can build in every sense, particularly how we can build together and how we can create an economy that moves from reliance to resilience, from division to unity, and from silos to true partnership. Earlier this week, we were in Kelowna talking about building competitiveness in our forest product sector. Tomorrow, we will spend time with the Canadian Armed Forces, focusing on building security and defense. There is so much for us to do, and we are very focused on doing exactly that, focusing on what we can control. Yes, we are having discussions with the Americans, but Canadians want us to focus here at home, to build at home. We are listening especially now as we meet at a decisive moment for our country. We all know that the U.S. is fundamentally changing its trading relationships, not just with Canada, but with all countries. In effect, it is now charging for access to its economy. We will continue to work with the United States on the many mutually beneficial opportunities we share in trade and investment. But it is clear we can no longer rely solely on what has been our most valued trading relationship. That's why we are focused on building strength here at home. One example came earlier this week when Minister Hodgson and I were in Kelowna to announce over $1.25 billion in new investments in the softwood lumber industry, one of the sectors most affected by decades of trade actions. At the core of that investment is support for Indigenous communities and services, recognizing the close relationship we share. This includes liquidity for companies, capital to pivot toward new markets and opportunities, worker support, and direct funding for Indigenous-led forestry, business development, and diversification. This also reinforces and expands the Indigenous Forestry Initiative, which supports Indigenous-led projects and priorities. As we build the new Canada, we will do so in partnership with Indigenous peoples. And that's why we are here today. We will spend a good part of our time discussing Bill C-5, the Building Canada Act, and more importantly, how to put it into action. This act has the potential to unleash enormous possibilities, to build major infrastructure such as ports, trade corridors, and energy systems, to develop our natural resources and critical minerals, and to invest in our people in ways that connect and transform our economy. At its core, the act changes how the federal government operates. Instead of asking, why should we build, we will ask, how can we build? And central to this is building in true partnership with Indigenous peoples. That's why we are here, to listen, to hear your perspectives, and to make the most of this opportunity. The Act defines what is considered a project of national interest. First, it must strengthen Canada's autonomy, sovereignty, resilience, and security, while providing economic and other benefits to the country. We do not want unrealistic, pie-in-the-sky projects. We want initiatives with a high likelihood of success. Yes, as Vida said, this will require hard work, and nobody here is afraid of that. But success must be probable. Core to the Act is the requirement that these projects advance the interests of Indigenous peoples and contribute to clean growth while meeting Canada's climate change objectives. What you just heard was not just a speech. It was a signal to Canada, and let's be honest, a not-so-subtle message to Washington. Mark Carney didn't name Trump, but the message was clear. Canadian Nexus statement. This was today's important update. We want to make it absolutely clear that our videos never include any kind of misinformation. Canadian Nexus is dedicated to bringing you verified and trustworthy news from across Canada, from politics to society and everything in between. If you value truth and facts, you are in the right place. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the Canadian Nexus channel. Thank you.